Thanks, Alistair, for that. I couldn't hear you very clearly there, but what basically India is dealing with today is that with the knowledge that so-called Saffron Terror is now a reality. The leaked confession of RSS-linked Swamy, Asimanand, exposes how he and other Hindutva extremists attacked the Indo-Pak Samjhauta Express, killing 68 people, mostly Pakistanis. Now, tonight what we'll ask our panel is, what does this mean for India? What does this mean for our relationship with Pakistan? And perhaps most importantly, for our own aggressive anti-terror diplomacy. Why is the Samj Parivar still virtually in denial over the existence of extremist Hindutva terrorists? Now, with us to discuss this in the studio, we have with us the President of the Janata Party, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, also a member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, Kamal Farooqi, political analyst Ijaz Ilmi, and from Delhi we've been joined by an academic from Delhi University, Rakesh Sinha. We'll also be joined from Peshawar on the phone line by Rahimullah Yusufzai, the executive editor of Pakistan's Jung Group of newspapers. And don't forget, you can join the conversation by calling us 0120-436-9422. But before we go into the discussion, let's just take a quick look at what Swamy Asimanand said and some shots of the damage he and his men caused. Now, he basically said while giving his confession that was published by Tehelka magazine that he knows the confession could lead him to the death sentence, but he's making it because, as he says later in the magazine, he felt guilty at having met a young boy in jail, Kaleem, who had been wrongfully accused of the Samjhauta blast, and in speaking to this boy and developing sympathy and empathy for his wrongful conviction, he stood up and made his confession. Of course, this confession is not about his work alone. He also names several RSS functionaries who he said were part and parcel of this attack on the Samjhauta Express that killed 60 Pakistani citizens, 68 people in total. Now, the question is, let me start with you, Subramanian Swamy. There's been a denial of Saffron Terror. Can that denial now finally stop?
Well, it's a definitional problem there. I don't know what you mean by Saffron Terror.
Hindutva extremists.
It means, well, then there are Hindutva extremists also who killed 3,000 Sikhs or maybe 10,000 Sikhs in 1984.
Yeah, but that was not violent.
I don't think so, because they were the people named in it are people who have been members of parliament, who have been ministers in the cabinet of Rajiv Gandhi and Mrs. Indira Gandhi, like H.K.L. Bhagat. So I don't think these definitional terms need to be clarified.
Okay, but whatever happened there, the idea that there are people who are trying to give retribution for Islamic terror, as is called.
So coming back to your question, I would say there has to be an establishment. It has to be established that RSS as an organization took this decision. Because otherwise, if you start applying this logic.
Let's not go to the RSS right now. Just
all right.
These guys as individuals.
Then what is this? There are crazy Hindus in the country. I don't know when they started it. According to one report, they're supposed to have started planning from 2002.
Okay.
So let the government come out with a white paper. Did the NDA government know that this was going on? When Mr. Manmohan Singh took over in 2004, did he know that this was going on? Because the IB, I can't believe that the IB would be unaware of it, something which has been going on for such a long time. So I'm afraid that the whole basis we are relying on, even today, this confession, we are relying on the Tehelka report. Now, I'm assuming that the Tehelka report is correct. Even assuming that to be so, I would say that these little pieces that have to be added up, the dots have to be connected. That has not been done so far.
I really fail to understand why Mr. Swamy is not yet in a position to be realistic about the whole thing. One after the other. It's not simply this Asimanand we are talking about. We are talking about Prohit, we are talking about that lady, we are talking about the colonel, all these people, and they, at one point of time or the other, they are associated with organizations like RSS. Rather, I'm sorry, why have you not called people like Tejinder and other people who have been garlanding them, who have been praising them, and all of them were there, including Modi, including the top RSS people. They were there when he was making all those kind of things.
Let's explain to viewers what you're basically saying is a lot of the people today accused of Saffron Terror, it is called, were people who were defended by the Sangh Paribar and
Yeah.
even publicly
Yes,
facilitated.
facilitated.
The question is, let me ask you this as a Muslim, as a sort of a political spokesperson for the Muslim community, how does this make you feel?
No, I'm relieved and I'm sorry. Both the things are there. I'm relieved.
What's the relief about?
I'm relieved because now at least any person, including Mr. Swamy and other RSS people, they will not be anymore talking about that all terrorists are the Muslims. They
Okay.
will stop talking about this. This is one relief. The other sad thing is that organizations like RSS are openly getting involved into it and they are defending these people.
Okay, let me put this to you, Professor Sinha. The idea right now, what has become clear is that there are a band of individuals conducting these attacks. There is no clear evidence yet to show that the RSS as an organization has been involved and supportive of them. Would you agree with that statement, or do you think the RSS is also involved in this as a movement, as a group?
I am happy to find Dr. Swamy in your studio, but I am unhappy that you are discussing so-called Hindu terrorism with him. He is the person, the point of discussion should be the corruption. He is a hero of the 2G spectrum. He exposed the government. And now I am coming to the point. Look, there is an international conspiracy to create a parallel of jihadi terrorism, Hindu terrorism. This is an international conspiracy. They have been trying for the last 1 decade to defame Hindu society, to defame nationalistic society, nationalist organizations. Let me make it clear. Asimanand or people like him, like Pragya Thakur, they are not directly linked to the RSS. They are not the members of the RSS. At one point of time, they had sympathy with the RSS, but if they are involved in the violence, no RSS person can be responsible for violence. RSS does not dictate for violence. RSS believes in cultural nationalism. So all the plots are, it is a political conspiracy of the government. Now the budget session is coming. Before the budget session, they will start trying the Asimanand case. In the monsoon session, they tried 2 more people of RSS in Indresh's case.
Okay,
so
Mr.
time and again, government
creates
a villain.
Okay,
Just
Mr. Sinha, you made your point
its integrity,
that you're saying that this is a
itself.
political ploy. Let me just, if I can summarize, you're saying it's a political ploy in time for the budget session of Parliament.
Just a line.
Okay,
Just
quickly.
a line. Why this is a media trial? All the time, whenever there is a session of
No, it's
government,
not media. Why are you blaming media? Yeah, Mr. Sinha, why are you blaming media?
I'm not
why are
blaming
you
media.
blaming media?
I'm not
He has
blaming media.
confessed it, Baba.
No, I'm
He
not
has
blaming
given a
media.
long confessional
Please let me
statement.
clear. I'm
What are
not
you
blaming
talking about?
media. It is the government agency which is briefing media, and Mr. Farooqi is there. Please ask him, what about Batla House? What about Afzal?
Yes, we have got serious doubt about Batla House also, Mr. Sinha, we have got serious doubt about.
Why you have
That is what
doubt?
actually we have been protesting.
Let's keep this discussion on Swamy Asimanand. Okay, Mr. Sinha, I get your point. Look, let's give other people a chance to get in here. There's one important person I want to get into the show, a Pakistani gentleman calling us from Peshawar, Mr. Rahimullah Yusufzai. He is the executive editor of the Jung Group of newspapers. Sir, thank you for joining us on the telephone. Let me ask you, as a Pakistani journalist who's been writing about terrorism in Pakistan, how does the confession of Asimanand grab you? What is your takeaway when you see the report that is now in the Helka magazine?
It won't be surprising because extremists in both countries are involved in acts of terrorism. We have our own homegrown extremists. We have Taliban, we have jihadis, and we have also foreign terrorists belonging to Al-Qaeda. And we knew that there were also extremists in India. And if this confession has not been taken under duress, if the person is finally punished, I think we will be doing justice to these 68 families, 60 Pakistanis and 8 Indians. They have been waiting for justice for last many years. It happened in 2007, and many people actually have forgotten about this Samjhauta Express bombing.
Okay.
So I think it's
let
very
me ask you
important.
this one question, sir. What would you now expect the Indian government to do?
I think that if this case is resolved, if finally the people are punished in India, it would, I think, create a lot of pressure on Pakistan also to take action to convict the people who are responsible for acts of terrorism in India, especially for the Mumbai attacks.
Okay.
So I think that, it will send a very strong message to Pakistan.
Okay, it would send a
Pakistan
strong
people
message.
would
I take your
believe
point, sir.
because
Ijaz
they have
Ilmi, this
been
is exactly what we've been hearing all along, that now if India does not act against this, then the Pakistanis will sit back and say, look, we don't have to act against 2611. You now know the pain of having extremist elements in your society who are protected by political parties and by people in the political system.
It was always known for a very, very long time. It's also coming out now. These doubts were there in everybody's mind. What is very important out here is that unless you punish with a heavy hand all perpetrators of violence, whether it's Hindu terror or jihadi terror, you will not get justice, and India's stand on terror will be compromised. I mean, I would like the RSS and the BJP leadership, which went and felicitated Sadhvi Pragya and Rajnath Singh, went on the dharna to protest against the arrest. These people should apologize, because they are the ones who compromised India's stand on terror.
Okay.
Because after the statement, this statement has come to a magistrate. It was not under coercion. This is not like
This
the police.
is a legally sustainable
This is not a police
confession.
confession done on Muhammad Kaleem.
Sure.
And he said, hundreds of Muslim boys who were picked
164, it's maintainable in court. We have a caller, Sanjeev Iyer from Bombay. Quickly ask your question to the panel.
टीवी देखना टीवी में आवाज आएगा तो टीवी
Yeah, Sanjeev Iyer. Okay, we'll come back to him. Subramanian Swamy, let me ask you this. You said that there are extreme elements in there. When the RSS is perpetrating what is a pretty ethnic philosophy in many ways, it is a philosophy that can go out of control in the hands of the wrong people. The leadership of the RSS may be very wise, educated people who have a certain cultural view. But that particular point of a way of looking at the world, at differentiating between people based on religions, in the hands of less sophisticated people can easily degenerate into terrorism.
Well, you see, that's a question of guess on your part, because I know the RSS from top to bottom, including the workers. Now, I would like to add to a point raised by Professor Sinha, which is about a conspiracy. Now, I am not advocating any conspiracy, but I would like to say that when the Shankaracharya of Kanchi was arrested on a murder charge, and he's now been practically exonerated, every witness has now bolted, and the state is looking red in the face. In 1948, Godse was said that he was an RSS man. He had been in RSS, he had dropped out of RSS. The RSS was banned, it was held guilty for Mahatma Gandhi's assassination, and then completely exonerated. So then, of course, in the emergency. So I am not, you cannot rule out the possibility, particularly because the present government is suspected of being anti-Hindu. Whether it's anti-Hindu or not, I am saying that this is a widespread impression. But I'm giving you my point of view.
That's too far-fetched.
Maybe far-fetched for you.
That's too far-fetched.
Maybe far-fetched for you. But I am saying that the length and breadth of this country, the general opinion amongst the Hindus, now I'm not taking 100%, but the very large percentage of Hindus feel that this government is anti-Hindu.
Okay,
so you have to have an independent agency. You have to have a large amount of material.
Why is this degenerating, Ijaz Ilmi, into finger pointing on the politics of saying, did the CBI leak this confession? Is this really a conspiracy? We are still having a hard time accepting the fact that what Dr. Swamy said earlier, we need to accept as a nation there's a group of people who purport to speak for Hindus, which they do not, but they are extremists. And we need to embrace them and prosecute them and make sure we weed them out of our society.
No, there's no question. The law of the land is very, very clear. On an act of terror, you have to give them the maximum punishment. But why is Professor Sinha and my friend Subramanian Swamy protesting so much about a conspiracy theory
I'm not ruling it out.
Possibility of a conspiracy theory?
Because I've seen it happen in the past.
Jahangir, let's not forget, for the Malegaon blast in September 2006, those 9 boys are still behind bars. If you want to catch hold of young, bearded, educated Muslim boys, actually catch hold of the right ones who are involved in terror. Don't go around catching all and sundry. And for 4 years they're behind bars. Who's going to compensate them? They're living in penury, they can't walk. And the
why don't you answer Ijaz Ilmi's point? Why is this reluctance to accept what is staring us in the face?
Asking to me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? I am putting one question to Mr. Farooqi. I am very thankful to the Pakistani gentleman. He has at least said that Pakistan is guilty for the 26/11 incident in Mumbai. But in India, Mr. Aziz Barni, with the support of the ruling establishment, published a book, RSS Conspiracy 26/11. The release function was attended by none other than the Deputy Speaker of the Rajya Sabha, Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and secondly, Mr. Digvijay Singh, the most powerful General Secretary of the Congress, very close to Rahul Gandhi, very close to 10 Janpath. What does it mean? The Indian journalist, the journalist patronized by the government, the journalist who was banned in the Obama Manmohan Singh press meet, he is writing a book blaming RSS for 26/11. You are giving chance to Pakistan. You are weakening India's case for terrorism. Let me make it clear that
how is this connected to Asim Anand's confession? I'm not understanding, Professor Sinha.
There may be my question is, Mr. Faruqi, does he support Aziz Barni's conspiracy theory that 26/11 was the RSS creation?
Okay, now look, we're not here to. We don't have to answer that, Mr. Professor Sinha. We're not. Let's please stay on this issue of Asim Anand. One interesting thing in his confession, he says very clearly, as has been put out publicly, in March 2006, Pragya Thakur, Sunil Joshi, Bharat Riteshwar and I decided to give a befitting reply to the Sankat Mochan blast. It looks like this is vendetta, it is revenge, and this should not be taken in the political domain as well. If there are a handful of people who decide to sort of fight terror with terror, the worst thing we can do is try to find political support and political crutches for that point of view. Yeah, let's just take a look at what the web poll, we conducted a web poll. We asked our viewers a basic question that's on the mind of every Indian, and this is how they responded. The thought, of course, is, will Swami Asim Anand's confession help Pakistan now corner India on terrorism? And 60% of people say yes. This is exactly what we'll talk about more when we're back from this quick commercial break. Don't go away.